Okay, welcome back, or welcome if you are new to my channel. If you are new and you don't know me, my name is Amy. Just a girl playing around with makeup just for the heck of it because it's fun. Why wouldn't you? Today's video is going to be all about brushes, specifically eye brushes. I don't touch on my face brushes too much because there's not really much to that. So that is what today's video is going to be about. So if you want to learn about some brushes, feel free to stick around. Watch this video. If you want to see more of me, don't forget to subscribe. Please hit the subscribe button. And also, tell me what you want to see. I can't create good content and content that people want to see if I don't know what it is that you want to see. I can play with makeup all day long, but it's going to be pretty repetitive and pretty boring. So definitely let me know where you guys are at, what you want to see. So if you want to, for this video, this Makeup 101, learn about brushes, feel free to stay tuned. So here we go. Okay, kids, brushes. Let me get organized. Yet again, I have my list. And so what I did, I have about, let me see here, 2, 6, 8, 10, 11 brushes that I use to create this look on my face pretty much. And granted, some of these are not clean because I use them to create this look on my face. So I'm just going to dive right into it, and these are my all-time go-to brushes. I have a ton more, but they're new, and I haven't really picked them up as much because these are my tried and true brushes. So I'm just going to dive in. My first brush that I want to show you is going to be this one. This is the JH31 brush. This one is a fluffy blender brush according to the Morphe website. This is a Morphe Jaclyn Hill collab brush. If you've seen my videos before, you know that is essentially all I use are Morphe Jaclyn Hill or Morphe James Charles, Morphe brushes pretty much. If these are dirty, I do have like another set that I just got on Amazon. I do not reach for it as often because these dry pretty quick. I wash them at night, they're dry in the morning. So, and I don't love that set. So this one anyway, I use this right to lay down transition colors, right in the crease, buffing that out. You need to buff out, to create that nice buffed out crease, you need a fluffy blender brush like this. So anything with this kind of shape and that fluff will work. This is a natural hair brush. I'm pretty sure this is natural hair. Pretty sure. Probably should look that up, but pretty sure. Most of my eye brushes are natural hair. Natural hair brushes pick up powder a little bit better and disperse it a little bit better than synthetic brushes, so keep that in mind. It's not that synthetic won't work, but you just might have to work a little harder. I feel like natural hair brushes, a little better. However, one thing to remember with natural hair brushes is that they are natural hair, so they can dry out like natural hair can. They can also break like natural hair can, and that's where the shedding comes from. I don't have a lot of problems with my Morphe brushes, but you do need to wash them about once a week. I use a cleansing balm because the balm seems to keep the moisture in my brushes, and I haven't had too much of an issue. I used to use like a olive oil dish soap mixture that I saw on YouTube. I like the Morphe cleansing balm better. It is sold out. Can't get it right now. But yeah, so just things to keep in mind when you're talking about natural hair brushes. So that is my first brush. That is the first brush that I go in to lay down that transition, like my transition shade. So obviously, usually my transition shade is my lightest shade that I put into that crease, and then I buff it out to pretty much my, brow bone here. So then, next favorite, JH32. This is a transition blender. I use this to really deepen up that inner crease. As you can see, the difference between my JH31 and my JH32, this is the JH32 over here. My JH32 is a little bit longer. It is also a little bit tapered into, to that point. So I can get that directly into my crease here. And so that's where I'll put my next darkest color, is right onto this brush, right into that crease. Windshield wiper motions and then blending it out to blend it into that first lightest color. So again, if you don't have this brush, that is okay. This is the important brush because you can clean this off and use it to do the exact same thing. It will work. I just like this one because the bristles are a little bit longer, and I don't know, it gets where it needs to go and it blends things out well.
Okay, you guys, one thing I forgot to mention is that instead of using the JH32 brush, that tapered, long, bristled brush, you can use a pencil brush to really get into that inner crease and then buff it out with that JH31 or any fluffy blender brush. That would be just as helpful as having the JH32 if you don't want to spend a ton of money on a full set of brushes.
Do you have to have this set to be successful or to have a successful makeup look? No, you do not. Just saying. So the next one is this JH33 brush, and it's listed as a universal blender. I use this one because if you look at it, it's pretty flat. And I actually use this to pack on color. So I'll take my third color, so next darkest on whatever, whatever color range I want to do, and I pat that right in this outer corner. And I do it in like a half moon, and I just pat it back and forth. And I kind of make sure, because this is flat and a little like dome shaped, I can get right into that crease and not only pack, but like use those windshield wiper motions to kind of like fade it in to the inner corner. So I want the most of the color on this outer corner, and then I want to fade it into the inner corner because that's where I want it to start getting lighter, and like have that gradient. So that is what I use this one for. Again, all three of these brushes are natural hair. Next, I used, oh, you know what? I don't have it down here. Okay, well, I cheated a little bit. So this is from the Morphe James Charles collab, and this is an M152 brush. And see how it's very, very tiny. This one is a medium chisel fluff is what it's listed as. And I'm sorry, I had to look all these names up because I just look at the brush and I'm like, yep, that'll go there. So that's really how I choose. I don't go by like, oh, this is a blender brush or this is what it's supposed to be used for. I go, this will fit right where I need it to go, so that's what I'm going to use it for. So this medium chisel fluff brush is tiny. It's a tiny little guy, and the handle is even tiny. Like, I feel like I'm going to break this because, you guys, if you've been here, I'm a power tapping gal. Like, so when I tap off, like, this little handle, stay tuned. I haven't had this up very long, so we're going to see what happens. But anyway, my darkest color went onto this, and that's how I concentrated it right into that corner with a little triangle motion right there, just right in that corner, blending it in. Done with that part, because again, we want that darkest color on the outside and then kind of working our way to the inside. This one, no, it's not. It's natural hair. Okay. Anywho, okay. So this is actually a blend of natural and synthetic fibers, hairs, whatever you want to call it. So this is what it looks like. It is, pretty tapered here, which I really like because it fits right where it needs to go. It's gonna fit just underneath that crease. I use this for this medium golden shade here. And then I also used it for this light, like honey golden shade here, all the way into the corner. So I brought it all the way down. So that's what I use this for. When you see me spray a brush and use like a Fix Plus or something to wet my brush and then put a shadow to intensify it, this is the brush that I use. I think that because of the synthetic fibers in it, I think that that's what helps it to really like pack on some of those like glitter and shimmer shadows, because like I said, synthetic fibers work really well with creams, and when you wet this and then put it into a shadow, you're basically making it a little bit more creamy. So yeah, so that is for the top part of the lid. Those are the brushes. Actually, just kidding, I lied. This JH42 Brow Bone highlighter brush, that's literally what I use it for, so that, you know, that is true. And it is the tiny, daintiest little brush, and just right here, that's where it's going. So that's what that little guy's for. And that one is natural. So then next, 43, this one is synthetic. So this one is the like eyeliner smudger brush. So this one is for my lower lash line. Like if you've seen any of my other videos, you know that I stamp the darkest color. Like in this case, I stamped my darkest color right against that lash line. I don't smudge it really, I just stamp it, and then I'll, you know, try and connect those stamps together. So that's what I do with this one. And then I take the JH38, which is just a pencil brush, and then I go back over that usually with my next darkest color. So basically the reverse of here. So my next darkest color goes right underneath that stamped line to blend that out, and, you know, just to make it more blown out kind of look. So that's what I always use, a pencil brush for that. Very rarely do I go in with just a pencil brush underneath my eyes. It's usually the eyeliner smudger for the darkest color and then a pencil brush to blend out. This one is natural hair. Last but not least, this one is a JH36. This is just an eye buffer brush. And it is, I mean, it's pretty long bristles, flat on the top, natural hair. This one I use after I use that pencil brush, my next lightest color goes onto this. So usually I only use 3 colors on the bottom of the eyes, 6 on the top, 3 on the bottom. So darkest, next darkest, next darkest after that. Usually it's the color that I put into my innermost crease to buff everything out and get that really blown out under eye. So that's what I use this brush for. The longer the bristles really help to like blow that out and make it really like blown out. I don't know how many times I can say that, but the shorter bristles would make it a little bit more concentrated and a little less like dispersed. So that's why I use this one. There is another one in the set. It's just a little, this is the JH37. It's just a little shorter. Like if you can, I'll put them side by side here. Like this one is definitely longer than this one. So you want it a little bit more concentrated. That's the one. This is the one if you want to really blow out that lash line. Like I said, these are my most tried and true brushes that I use for pretty much all of my eye looks or some variation. I will say some of my other looks do require other brushes depending on the size and where I need to put product or what I'm doing. But like this eye look, these are the brushes that I use. Now, that's for this eye look. Those are the ones that I use. There are 3 other ones that I wanted to talk about specifically for this video. This one is an M224 brush from the Jaclyn Charles set. This one you can see has been used pretty good. I want to say it's probably going to be a blend maybe. I'm not 100%. But same thing as this one, this all over lid brush. This is a variation of that. So if you can't find this one or don't have something like this one, this flat all over lid brush can be used instead of this one. So same thing, just all over the lid for, like I use these for shimmers, glitters, satin, satin eyeshadows just to put them, you know, in that inner corner to mid eyelid kind of range. And also I work with these brushes when I'm wetting them down and intensifying those shimmers and satins and stuff like that. Next two are kind of similar. Again, just what I use. This brush I use pretty much every single day. It's the brush that I use when I'm getting ready for work. This is the JH30. This is it's like a beast mode blender. It is huge. It is fluffy. It is ginormous. You also saw me, if you watched my last video, which I will link above, I use this. No, it was maybe 2 videos ago now. Yeah, my smoky eye video. I use this one to go back over and put, you know, that lighter color and really blend out that and smoke out that upper lid. That I use this guy because I mean it's huge and fluffy and I love it. I use this usually when I'm heading to work. I tap into my bronzer and all over my eyes. It's like 4 seconds and I'm like, bye, gotta go, like running late per usual. So that's what this is for. This is like, if I lost this brush, broke this brush, anything happens to this brush, I will purchase another one. And if God forbid they stop making this, I will cry and like go into a deep pit of despair. Just saying, that's gonna happen. My next brush is the M441 brush. This is a Pro Firm blending brush. It's listed as a crease brush. Holy moly. This I think would be comparable to that JH31 brush that I first showed you. Here's the two side by side. So this one, not nearly as fluffy as, as this one. So that's what I like, you know, when this, I'm like, I need a little bit more fluff. You know, if I really want to blend out, this is the one. The fluffier the brush, just the more it's gonna blend out. So that's my take on brushes. Again, these look like, and according to like what I'm seeing on Morphe's website, these are pretty much, again, these are all eye brushes. These are pretty much all natural hair or a synthetic natural hair blend. They hold powder really well and they blend out really well. That's the great part about natural hair brushes is just their ability to blend out like and hold powders pretty well. Obviously your brushes can only do so much. They've got to work with pretty good shadow and pigment as well. So that is that. Now the other thing that I was asked to touch on for foundation is whether I use a sponge or a brush. I will tell you I use both at times. And I know that's like, what? So if you're going to use a brush, I would suggest one like this, like a flat, like kabuki brush kind of thing. I don't love using a brush for my foundation because brushes, I will say brushes put down less product on your skin as long as they're clean. If they're dirty or you've used them a few times, they're going to kind of hold some of that product there and you might get a little bit more caking. But they streak. So if you use a brush, completely fine. If you're like, you know, I really like the finish of a brush. I really like how much, you know, and by finish, how much it's putting on, because to me, there's always, like, even if you use circular motions or buff, you are always going to see some streaks or like lines where you can see brushes. If that happens to you, take a sponge, tap over it. Not only do you get rid of those lines and get rid of excess product too. Like you make it almost an airbrush finish and that's gorgeous. So I will use, like I use this brush if I use cream contour, which I kind of have been actually experimenting with more. Like today, I feel like my skin is on point. I'm really happy about it, you know, because I can't leave the house and nobody can see it. That's why I'm here with you fine folks today. You get to benefit from this. But you know, so that cream contour I've really been enjoying. And I mean, I do put powders on top of it. Like I bronze like it's my job, you know, so, but I use this to buff out my cream contour and really, you know, like make that look seamless. And then I set, with a setting powder, and for that, it's a huge, ginormous, fluffy brush. Tap off excess. Don't put a ginormous amount of powder on your face. You will look like the Sahara Desert. So just watch that. But that's it. And you guys, sponges are my jam. Like that's general. This is what I put my foundation on. And I always put my foundation on the back of my hand to avoid getting too much product, or foundation on my face, because sponges will hold on to product a lot better than say brushes will. That's why some folks don't like sponges, because they hold on to so much product and it can really cake on. So I put product on the back of my hand, tap in, and then, you know, right onto my face. So, and then I just basically use it until I'm not noticing it covering anymore, and then I'll tap back in and go back over. So that's how I kind of minimize that, how much I'm getting onto my face. That's it. That's all I have for you. Hopefully this was helpful. Like I said, I did not go into my face brushes really at all. If that's something that you need to see, want to see, I need to clarify more on, let me know, comment down below. If you have any questions or concerns about these brushes, how to care for them, anything that I didn't cover, for time purposes, comment down below. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Definitely give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. That lets me know that you want to see more videos like this. Also, feel free to subscribe so you can see more of me. Oh, it's going to be a long quarantine, guys. Just kidding. I go back to work tomorrow. But, so yeah. So, feel free to subscribe. Head on over to my other socials. You know, those are going to be linked at the end of this video, or at least you'll see where you can go for those. Yeah, that's all I got. Thanks so much for tuning in, watching. Thanks for participating. For those of you that have, you know, let me know what you need to see. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Like I said, feel free to subscribe, and hopefully I will see you guys again very soon. All right. See you later, guys.